top from this.
Welcome to another brand new Rich Off Pips video. So today I wanted to quickly just go over a few questions I've been having in my inbox on Instagram for the last couple months. I've been getting a lot of requests to make this video. It's just a little bit different from our standard Rich Off Pips videos. Usually you see me and Shimon talking just about different things for the market, different mindset tricks, or you see a lot of lifestyle from us. And like I said, occasionally I will go into the charts like how you guys are seeing here today and kind of break a little few things down for you guys. So that way, you guys can get some more free knowledge, from real experience, from real traders without having to buy a course, right? Obviously, you guys know that we, Rich Off Pips, do have a course. If you guys are interested in it, you guys can go to richoffpips.com and then again, scroll down and, our course is there. You guys can, if you guys are interested in learning more in-depth strategies, my personal strategies, how Shimon looks at the market as well, learning how to actually make money from the actual financial markets. And again, you guys can go on richoffpips.com, look to purchase our course, which will kind of give you the more in-depth, how to actually do it. And how to actually extract money from the market, right? So anyways, today I wanted to talk about the top 5 2023 Forex day trading pairs, okay? So now, these are not just pairs that were created in 2023 or anything like that. These are just my favorite pairs to day trade. I currently actually only day trade about one of these pairs, maybe two, but these are all pairs I have day traded here in the past. I have extracted at least minimum 6 figures from each pair before in the past or even in the present. US 30 I am extracting 7 figures from plus, but again, some of these other pairs I'm going to be talking about, I have not made 7 figures on, but I have extracted at least 6 figures on, and I could, if I really want to, extract 7 figures and beyond. It's just that these pairs do move a little bit slower, right? Which is also the reason why I'm going to, list these pairs out for you guys, for especially the beginner traders out there that, if you're seeing, my trades, Shimon's trades, you're seeing that we trade US 30. That is one of, like the fastest pairs to trade, right? It's one of the hardest / fastest moving pairs. The price action is a little bit crazier, and you have to really know what you're doing, right? As a beginner trader, I do not recommend you starting off trading US 30. Obviously, you guys can do whatever you want. If you guys think, that faster pace of trading is better for you, that's suited to your more style of trading, then sure, go ahead. Start moving to US 30 and gold off rip if you feel like it. But just know you are going to lose money to start unless you do have beginner's luck. But again, at the end of the day, you are still probably going to lose money, right? So without wasting any more time. So the first pair, right, that I like to, give as a recommendation for beginners to start day trading or intraday trading, whatever, right, is USD JPY, right, which also stands for the US dollar / Japanese yen, okay? So now again, if you guys are not familiar with, marking up charts or how to do that, right? Again, you guys can go into tradingview.com. On tradingview.com, you guys can again start marking up charts. You don't have to have a paid account or anything like that. You guys can have a basic free account and still mark up charts. I personally have a premium account so I can access the other time frames. You're not going to be able to access, the 6 month, 3 month, or like other custom smaller time frames like 30-second or smaller, or even how I like to use the 3 minute, 7 minute or stuff like that, right? So that is what the premium benefits of TradingView do offer. You do get access to any custom time frame, which in my opinion is worth the price. If you guys do end up buying the course, you'll see the reason why. I'm not going to kind of go into depth on that here today. But again, having access to more time frames is worth it. So if you are wondering whether buying the subscription to TradingView, the premium one, is worth it or not, in my personal opinion, yes it is, but you do not need it to mark up charts, right? So anyways, USD JPY, like I said, stands for the US dollar / the Japanese yen, right? So whenever you guys are trading Forex pairs, whenever you're trading currency, what you're essentially doing, right, is trading one currency pair versus another, right? So you have right now, again, the US dollar, right, as the major, and then Japanese yen as a minor, right? So what that means is that you're trading the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, okay? So what that basically means in simplest terms is since the USD, right, is in front of the Japanese yen, when we are buying or selling this pair, right, what we are essentially doing is we are basically buying. If we press buy, we are buying and betting that the US dollar is going to gain more strength over the Japanese yen. Okay? That's what that means. So when you're buying on the pair USD versus JPY, right? That means you are betting, okay, that the US dollar is getting stronger than the Japanese yen, okay? Now, if you are pressing sell, okay, that means you are betting, right, that the US dollar is getting weaker than the Japanese yen, okay? That's all that means when you are buying or selling different currency pairs. It all is depending on what the major is in front of the minor, right? So, for example, if we're trading, the other pairs we look at like GBP, JPY, AUD USD, XAU USD, right? All those pairs that are in the front of the minor, right? Those are the pairs that you're actually buying or selling into, right? So you're not actually buying a share of it or selling a share of it, right? When you're trading Forex, we're trading one currency pair against another. We're basically betting that one currency pair is either going to get stronger or weaker than the other currency pair at that set given time, okay? And this is a concept that a lot of you beginner traders who are trading Forex, you get into it because you're not understanding. You don't even understand what you're buying or selling into, right? What you're actually betting on. So again, that is one very, very simple concept of what trading Forex is. Now, why I actually particularly like USD JPY is because of the volume, right? This volume is not too crazy for beginners to trade, but it's also not too slow, right? It's kind of right in the middle. The best times to essentially trade USD JPY, in my opinion, will be in session, right? So what that means, in session is going to be New York session, right? Tokyo session. Why is that? New York session, why? Because the US dollar is gaining the most strength during the New York session. If you guys don't know what the New York session is, it is 8 a.m. Eastern time through 5 p.m. Eastern time, right? Okay? Japanese yen. Technically, the Japanese yen Tokyo session starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I say usually the volume starts kicking in around 8, but the official start for Tokyo is 7 p.m. Eastern time till 4 a.m. Eastern time, right? So, that being said, from about 7 p.m. Eastern time till about 5 p.m. Eastern time is the best volume kicking in for this particular pair, US dollar, Japanese yen. The best time relatively, I will say, to trade this pair is going to be, like I said, during New York, around that 8 a.m. time period when New York is fully going to open up, is where the volume is going to kick the most, along with, 7, 8 p.m. when Japanese session first open up, when that volume is going to kick the most, right? As well as the close of the Japanese session in Tokyo, which is 4 a.m. Eastern, as well as the same thing going on with the close of New York session, right? So those are going to be the best times to relatively look for entries, look for setups, right? The first thing you obviously want to do on these Forex pairs, right, like US dollar, Japanese yen, is look at the higher time frames, right? So if you don't have access to the 3-month, if you do not have the paid version of TradingView, I would again use the monthly. Now looking at the monthly, right, you guys can kind of already see that price action has been pretty bullish for the last couple of months, right? For the whole start of 2023, we've been relatively bullish. And again, last year we made a new relatively high for that year, but not all-time high, right? We can see again the worth was way higher back in the 70s, and we've kind of honestly just been dropping since, right, for USD JPY. But it's looking like we were trying to come back up to get into highs, right? All trading is relatively the same, right? It's just a matter of, again, what pairs are best at what times, right? So I see a lot of times people are trading pairs out of session, trading in session. So like I said, for this pair, during those times, it's going to be the best time to look for setups. Personally, I'm not looking for setups on a monthly or something time frame. Again, what I like to do is, again, go into the line chart, quickly just, mark up some key levels here on the line chart so I know relatively where price action can go. And relatively for me, this would probably be the best thing to do for a monthly time frame on this said pair, and then kind of just go do top-down analysis, right, which is the act of, again, marking up a chart from higher time frame down to lower, right? So again, monthly, weekly, right? I'm not gonna just fully do this right now, but again, I will do next is look into the weekly, look into the daily, right? Kind of see what price action is doing. And today is Sunday, so again, I would like to always do this markup charts on Sunday before the market actually opens back up around 5 p.m. That way you can kind of be fresh, resets. That way when the market does open up here, you guys can already have potential setups looking for what's going to happen, right? Like I said before, I do not trade on Sundays. I just like to mark up charts, look to collect data, right? Again, marking up the daily, trying to see again where the resistance was. Okay, so we have resistance, we have support, all right? And then now going into the kind of the 4 hour and kind of seeing how price action reacted, right? So again, last Friday we did have NFP. So we can see again, NFP did bring price action bullish. We had a nice support get built up right there, right? So nice support was built up. And again, during NFP, we end up retesting that support for literally about 16 hours, it looks like. And then we ended up having that push up, okay? And then again, looking at the hourly, we can see that volume kicked in again, 8 a.m., right? So again, just a pure example, right? So 8 a.m., we did have that volume kick in. Again, that was from a news event that happened on NFP on Friday. And that volume kicked in the most. We had that retest of that level. So this would have been your best ideal entry, right? Again, for USD/JPY, it is a little bit different. Pips wise, it's going to be a little bit different. So this would have been, if you were from the lowest point of that wick, it would have been about a 35 to 40 pip stop, which for UJ is not that bad, right? So for USD/JPY, my max pip stop would relatively be, honestly, probably anywhere between 35 to 40 pips at the max. But again, if I am risking 40 pips, then I would need to at least be gaining at least a minimum of 60, right? It's not like US30 where gaining 40 pips is very, very easy. It's like 40 points. This again is going to take a little bit more time, right? So you guys can even see for USD/JPY, we did gain about 133 pips towards the end of that day. Your lowest amount of risk for that day would have been about 14. But to be on the safe side, again, placing it a little bit below this point would have been about 30 pips stop loss if you got it from about that low point of the entry at 8 a.m. Again, you can see even at 3 a.m. when London opened up, right, we had a little bit of price action fighting. But again, the best time, again, 20 o'clock, which is 8 p.m., 7 p.m. is 19. So you can even see at 8 p.m. and 20 o'clock, right, we had a big form of volume, right? And then again, same relative move happened at 8 a.m. where price action again retested that low and pumped up, right? So again, the low of the day for that day would have been right here. 8 p.m. would have been right there, which is Tokyo. All right, so then again, a common pattern between Tokyo, the low of the day, and then when 8 a.m. comes in, when New York session happened, obviously price action was very, very bullish. Okay, so again, stop loss easily if you place the position. Mock position, I would have stop loss a little bit below this wick. Okay, and then again, targeting. You never know how high it can relatively go. I would relatively target this area. It's a point of interest. And still, we would have that setup. Still would have been a 5-to-1, right? Relatively. Only risking it, like I said, about 24, 25 pips to gain a little bit over 100, 113 pips. That would have been a really good setup. And these are the type of ideal setups you would want to look for a pair like USD/JPY. Okay, obviously this is on replay mode, not even replay mode, but we're looking at back from what it did on Friday. So this isn't a live chart of what's going on right now because it is still Sunday. But again, just showing you an example of where you could potentially have an entry, where obviously stop loss would have been, even if your entry is way later. Your stop loss, I would still put in the safe point of over there. Target still in that safe point, right? Which still would have been a 2-to-1, even if you had a terrible entry, right? But again, at the end of the day, even at 8 a.m., price action would still been entry here. Even if you got it back at, let's say, 9:30, when stock market opening bell, which doesn't really have too much of an effect on USD JPY as it does on US 30, but still does have an effect nevertheless. You could still enter even on that retracement down, re-entry, and still had a nice, 2-to-1 relative setup, okay? And that's what it's relatively about, right? Again, just getting a nice R&R and just letting it ride. This trade would have again taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 to 6 hours for it to play out. So again, regular Forex pairs like this, USD JPY, they do take a little bit longer for those setups to play out to get, 100 or so pips, right? Obviously for US 30, that's way different. On a 9:30 opening bell, you will see a 100-point move happen, which, in trading odds, that's about 1,000 pips. So gaining 100 pips is like 10 points for US 30. Gaining 1,000 pips is like 100 points for US 30, which could happen in literally a matter of a 5-minute type span, right? So again, that's the very, very big difference. 100 pips here takes about 5-6 hours, right? So again, for those beginner traders that don't have that much capital or experience to trade, a pair like US 30 or gold, this is the relatively good pair that's kind of in the middle, right, of slow and fast. It's the USD JPY. Another pair, so odd USD, this is one of the first pairs that I actually started off with, along with USD JPY when I first started my trading career back in 2018. Again, this pair is a pretty slower pair. It's slower than USD JPY in my opinion. This pair mainly is going to get volume during the Sydney session, right? If you guys don't know what Sydney session is, you guys can look it on Baby Pips. So I'm not going to just explain all the sessions again. I've done it in another video before. You guys can go to babypips.com, learn those sessions. It's all basic info. But for odd USD, Australian dollar, US dollar, the best time to trade this pair again is going to be during the Sydney session, okay? Which is also, near the Tokyo session. So during that time period is going to be the best time to look for setups during this pair, as well as again, New York session. I obviously when I was trading this pair, I would only relatively look for setups during the Sydney session. And if I'm being 100% honest, I would relatively only look for setups during this type of pair when there was news, right? So what I would like to do for this pair in specific, again, top-down analysis, just like how I showed you guys on USD JPY, going from the monthly, going down to the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, right? And then now going down to the hourly for actually execution, okay? The only difference for odd USD, what I would actually particularly like to do is I would actually like to base my setups off of news, right? Instead of wasting my time and, getting these basic setups, as you guys can kind of see, price was trending. You guys could have, again, taken setups just basically basing off of a trend line setup, right? Again, drawing this trend line, something like this, okay? So you guys can see price was in that uptrend, starting point right here, okay, another point right there, and you guys can see just how price was moving off that trend line, right? We had a resistance point right there, and then again, price retested, got more bias right there, and we took it, right? Now we can kind of see price having some sort of shorts coming off of this point, previous price action point, right? But again, that doesn't really matter because, like I said, what I would like to do for these type of pairs is, as you guys know, I usually have only the US dollar check because that is mainly because I'm trading only US 30 or gold or something like that. But if you are trading, like I said, odd USD or, the Japanese yen pairs, I would check those, right? And again, for this video purpose, I am going to be showing you the GBP. I'm already showing you the odd. And obviously we're trading the USD. So I would check when you're on forexfactory.com, right? A place where you guys can again go to look for news events. Again, what you would do is have the odd in the filter section, have odd, GBP, JPY, and USD, and any other currency pair that you're currently trading, whether it's CAD, Euro, or whatever, NZD. And then again, have the red folder and orange folder checked, right? Hit apply filter. And again, now what you guys can see is these news events are coming up for this current next week, Monday, Tuesday. It goes all the way on and on, right? You can see a lot of news events, right? It will just show you from dates and dates. Basically, tell you these times. Obviously, make sure you're on your own local time. Up here, you can change it, whatever. Just make sure you're on local time, and it will show you in your own local time when these news events are coming, right? I've said this in another video before. Red folders are high impact news event folders. Those are the ones that are going to, again, have the most impact and volume on that market, as well as the orange folders having a medium impact on that market, right? What you would want to do is, again, go on to if you're looking at the odd, right, like what we're doing now, seeing that this next news event coming out, the main major news event is going to be Tuesday, right, at 12:30 a.m., right? Again, that is when relatively Sydney session is in, right? On, again, Australian dollars, Sydney, right? Sydney's capital of where that session's at. And again, 7:20 p.m. we do have a news event for odd as well, right? Most of the time, these news events going on for an Australian dollar are going to happen all throughout Sydney session, which is starting around 7 p.m. So 7:20 p.m., 9:30 p.m., and 12:30 a.m. For Tuesday is when we are going to be having those heavy impact news event folders, right? So the only time I would relatively look for setups is when these news events are going to be happening. So on Tuesday, I'd be looking for those setups to happen. Obviously, if the Australian dollar during this news event becomes negative, if it's weaker than the US dollar, right, that means, again, the market's going to be going for a sell. If that news event ends up becoming positive, right, then we know that the Australian dollar is going to be stronger than the US dollar, and we know the market is going to continue going up and hold that trend line, right? Okay, so that's all I relatively would be doing for these type of pairs, right? Like Australian US dollar, even GBP USD, same type of thing, right? So we have GBP coming up, news happening at 2 a.m., right, on Tuesday, which makes sense because, again, the GBP is going to be having its most strength during London session, right? The British pound, US dollar, is going to have the most strength during London session. London session, you guys already know, like I said, not going to repeat myself, it's baby pips, 3 a.m., 11 a.m. close. Very, very simple stuff, right? This volume is going to get the most during, again, US dollars 8 a.m. and, again, London's 3 a.m., right? So, again, you're going to see the most volume. It's going to start kicking around then. You guys can even see on Friday when we had an NFP as well. 3 a.m. is about right here. So, again, we had that short. So, we can see even from 3 a.m., which is right there, at about 2, okay, which is pre-London, we had another high, okay, at 23, which is 11 p.m., okay, a 6-hour opening candle, we had the real high of the day. Okay, so that being the high of the day, and this right here being the opening wick high of London. And again, the lower wick opening candle of London at 3. Right, you can see that by when we're fighting, again, a resistance. Looks like the common pattern for that day was a short, right, for market makers because of their buys. The buys are over here. And the buys, they would have taken that short out. And they're short, they would have taken those buys out. Which, again, as you guys can see, they were indeed short because they did end up taking those buys out for the day, right? And you guys can see, I'll show you guys what time that actually ended up happening. Okay, so you can see it ended up happening right here at 8 a.m. when, again, NFP did happen. 8 a.m. price pushed up one more time, dropped, made a new low. And again, 9:30, 9 o'clock, let's just say, price pushed back up for one more final wick hunt, right? Still not reaching London high, still not reaching the high today, right? So completely, again, validating that setup from that market makers were in shorts since actually 11 p.m. and then once again getting in there again at London. And then now during NFP and the stock market opening bell, they completely drowned that pair, right, until the end of the day. Price drop, let's see, another good 100 pips or so, right, from, the high of the day, right? So again, even entering at London session, which is, again, the best time for GBP USD, right, or GBP JPY, whatever it may be. Then again, entering at London, you still, even with the high today from London, even would have been a 5 to 7 pip. I would have made like 7 pip or so stop loss. Again, entering even somewhere right around here. Stop loss, placing it slightly above, let's just say that wick, which you wouldn't even need to do, but let's just say you did. And again, I would have targeted somewhere. I'll target like literally right here, okay, where that previous support is. That would have been target 2, target 1, like right there, okay? So again, let's just say be on the safe side, we targeted this. Again, that would have still been, almost a 7-to-1 RR ratio. You still would have been only risking, at the end of the day, risking about 10 to 11 pips to gain about 87 to 90, right? Which is on the safe side. You guys could still scale down a little bit more. But that is, again, a safe, very safe position, getting that target and support from the previous support here. And yeah, it's that simple. So again, GBP USD, we went over that. Odd USD, right? USD JPY, that's 3. Now, for my 2 other favorite pairs to trade, obviously you guys already know one of them, right? US30, USD. So now these 2 pairs, the last 2 pairs I'm going to be talking about, which is this one of them being US30 and the other one being gold, okay? These are 2 very, very fast pairs, okay, guys? So now technically US30 is not a Forex trading pair, right? US30 is the Dow Jones, right? Why this is considered an air quote Forex trading pairs? Because we're still trading US30, which is the Dow Jones, versus the US dollar, right? So what we're trading is now considered an indice, okay? Gold is a commodity what we're trading, right? XAU, which is gold, we're still trading it versus the US dollar, XAU USD, okay? So, I've talked about US30 a billion times over, okay? I'm not going to go over US30 again. I'm just kind of just going to give you a brief rundown. Good times to trade it. You guys already know how I kind of relatively look at things. If you want more in depth, like I said before in the beginning of this video, if you want more in depth to actually trading US30, then again, you guys can go on richrocktips.com and look to purchase our course. Again, our course is $297. Price will be increasing soon, because I am going to be updating the course with more in-depth videos, with live trading sessions of, turning, again, $100 into $6,000, $7,000 in a few hours, turning, $4,000 into $16,000 into like 2-3 hours. Doing this multiple times. We're going to be adding that into, again, the course, showing you guys real live trading examples, not no fluff, not no, demo accounts, nothing like that, showing real live examples, putting that in the course so that way you guys get more value and see how that's actually done, right? But again, I'm trying to give you guys, for the people that, aren't willing to invest in their education yet, or just looking for free education, just looking to get in the industry, trying to give you guys some free sauce. That's why, I'm making this video even for you guys now, just so that way, I know even for me, when I was first getting in this industry, just seeing all these videos on YouTube that are all just basically the same information. I just want to, again, give you guys my outlook of how I look at things, give you a little bit better, in-depth, more video, right? This type of video would actually be on a course. But again, I'm putting it on YouTube so that way you guys can get that value, right? Anyways, US30 USD, guys. So again, going back into an example of what happened Friday on NFP, which is, again, the biggest news event, first Friday of every single month. So again, at 8 o'clock, we did have NFP come in. Price dropped about 70 points, right? Which, saying is, again, about 700 pips, right, for any other pair. And then price ended up pushing up another literally 144 points. And then throughout the rest of that day, we had about another 683 points just from NFP, right, alone. Now, from London, 1, 2, 3, which is London right here. Again, very, very good entry even at London. We had a nice, 689, 690, right? So even getting at London for that day on US30 would have been good. I just tell people again, since NFP was happening, NFP could have literally done anything. It could have wicked way further down into this area or this area here if it was still a buy, right? And taking out your entries from London. So personally, I didn't trade London on NFP day. I waited for NFP to happen just because, again, US30 is going to get its most volume happening on the stock marketing opening bell, right? Which is happening at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So even though, although yes, NFP was the biggest news event, which happened at 8 a.m. on this candle here, right? look at it on a 5-minute when it actually started, which is right here, 8:30. Yeah, we've seen the price drop and push up. Okay, even from that point, let's just say you entered after NFP, right? This is an NFP candle, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So you had about 30 minutes, right, until about 9 a.m. Even entering somewhere right there, put stop loss, let's say right below NFP entry, right? And then just kind of scaling it upward from target, taking it from the 1 hour. Okay. Again, targeting, I would again targeted. This is actually where I did target. I had price, I had targets levels here, target levels here. Again, price action here. Obviously, again, price, very, very key price action relatively in this area here, okay? So, again, at that point, the best target, what I would have said, would have been relatively right here, okay? The easiest, most guaranteed target where price action was. We had resistance, 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 right? Obviously, if we break this point, then we know we would have broken these wicks, and these wicks, right? And that's honestly where we got literally right to. We broke just that, and that wick, and that's what we've seen right there, correct? But again, the guaranteed move would have been at least up to here if price kept continuing from the NFP, which still would have been a little bit over a 4-to-1, right? Again, risking about, let's say, 97 to almost 100 points to gain about, 400 to 500 points, which for US 30 is a very, very good move, right? And that's if you got a really bad entry on the NFP. That's if you completely basically missed the NFP movement and I got a bad entry on that, right? Now, let's say if you waited till 9:30, which is something what I did, right? I ended up actually catching the wick on NFP. I got the NFP move right when the move ended up happening. Stop loss right below the wick. And I just scaled it to about relatively right here. Still got a 7-to-1. And then ended up closing that trade, okay? Why? Because again, 9:30, I knew that 9:30 they could have still came back down, retested some of NFP's move till about right here. And I didn't want to, again, give up about 100 to 70 to 100 points on my entry for that. So what I ended up doing was I grabbed that entry, closed the trade, and then when 9:30 ended up happening, right, I ended up taking another trade, which when 9:30 ended up happening was actually the best entry for the day for that particular pair. And again, took that trade, 9:30. Again, placed stop loss relatively again below this area of interest where we had again a previous resistance, right? And then again scaled it to that same point, right? And now again that R&R being a little bit higher because we had a better stop loss, right? That being a little bit over 8-to-1, okay? Again, now having two different moves hitting about again a 14-to-1 R&R ratio on both setups combined, right? Totaling about, again, anywhere between a 500 to 600 point move, which could have been a 6,000 pip move, right? In general, right? Points are different than pips here in US 30, okay? So again, US 30, very, very fast moving pair. As you guys see, the amount of pips is way different, way faster. Again, like I said, in a matter of 5 minutes, this was already a 1,300 pip move, right? And then again, at 9:30, by literally 9:50, we already had a 2,000 pip move. So we can see from 8:30, okay, which is NFP, till about 9:50, okay, which is about an hour and 20 minutes. That's about 4,000 pips already, right? Which even on the smallest lot possible, that would have been $380. Okay, $385 on the smallest lot possible. Okay, on even like a decent lot, that would have been $3,800. On a lot that I'm standardly throwing, that would have been about $38,000. Okay, so yeah, like that's relatively how that's working. Okay, now last pair we're gonna talk about, and I'll keep it short since this video is kind of getting a little bit longer now. Gold. Okay, so again, gold. I don't really trade this pair too much. I've had bad experiences with this pair, but I know a lot of traders that love this pair. It is a very, very fast moving pair. And again, if you're good at fundamentals, which is news, if you're good at understanding what's going on in the world, I would trade gold. Or if you're relatively, again, very, very experienced with trading gold already in general, I will do it, right? But this pair, again, as you guys can see with the candles and the moves, again, it is very, very large moving pair. You do not need high lot sizes to trade this pair. You can use very, very minimum lot sizes to make and lose a lot of money, right? So again, when gold is moving, for example, for this moment, again, same thing, 8 a.m., London and New York is going to be the best times to trade gold, all right? Again, me personally, I've seen it move the best during New York, but again, I also seen it move very, very crazy during London. New York session again, opening off at 8 a.m. Same thing happened again during this day, relatively, right? We've seen that at 8 a.m. when NFP happened, we had a very, very big drop. We had, again, another 1,000 pip move happen for gold. And again, by the end of the day, we get finished off with about another 3,200 pips, right? So moving from about 1980 all the way back down to 1947, right, per ounce for gold, okay? And now same relative thing, right? We can see even coming from, again, that 11 a.m., that 6-hour close, not 11 a.m., sorry, 11 p.m., that 6-hour close was our high of the day for that day, okay? And then we seen again at 3 a.m. price again was trying to drop. We had that slight push up, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., right? And then again by 8 a.m. when NFP ended up happening, we ended up having that final short again, and they ended up just pushing it down from there until the end of the day, right? So again, like I said, gold is a pair. I personally, again, look more at fundamentals, more look at sentiment, kind of see what majority of people are doing, and then look to do the opposite, aligning with your analysis, right? I stay away from gold the most. I very, very rarely trade gold. Obviously, you guys know my main pair I trade is US 30. This is what I'm most experienced in, it's what I'm best in. But again, gold is a very, very fast pair as well, like US 30. So if you don't like US 30, you do like gold, or maybe you like both. These are both very, very good pairs to make a decent amount of money. You can make a good amount of money on any of the trading pairs, to be honest. But, again, gold and US 30, in my opinion, are the best to extract money from the market if you are an advanced trader, okay? Day trading wise as well. So, again, I hope I made sense in this video. I hope you guys understood this video. These are my top 5 pairs for 2023. Doesn't even have to be 2023. I assume this is going to be probably still the top 5 best pairs, in my personal opinion, for the next probably 5 to 10 years, probably even still longer than that. Again, learn these pairs, guys. See how it moves, back test, and again, learn how to extract money from the market. If you're looking at actual strategies, in-depth strategies of what I do, stuff like that, again, you guys can visit richrocktips.com and look to purchase our course and look to learn our strategies, right? Other than that, a good free recommendation is babypips.com, or continue watching our videos. Again, I'll continue dropping more videos like this here in the future, so you guys can keep getting more free game from us, right? If you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, give us some comments, saying positive feedback. We love seeing the positive feedback. Again, I'm not going to know whether to make more of these type of videos, especially me taking, right now we're running about 40 minutes. This is 40 minutes of my time. Again, 40 minutes of my time, I'm usually charging about $5,000 to $10,000 just for an hour of my time, right? So again, you guys are getting $10,000 worth of my time here for free. I'm giving you guys major, major sauce, all right? So again, if you guys like these type of videos, like, comment, subscribe, and really give us some positive feedback. Or if you don't like it, then I won't make these type of videos and give negative feedback, right? So that way I know not to waste my time anymore. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.